Okay, so the second season has begun with episode 1, Points of Departure, and there are some big changes that, I think it's gonna be okay. I think I can do it. So Sinclair is now the ambassador to Minbari, and our new captain is John Sheridan, who for some reason has the exact same initials as Jeffrey Sinclair, but okay, whatever. I'm like, why? And that explains who the hell the dude on the DVD cover picture is, because, like, now I know all these people. I don't think they know the person in the back. Unless it's Ivanova. Sorry. So yeah, we've got Sheridan. Sheridan is here now to be awesome, I guess. I like him so far. I'm just kind of like, why aren't you Sinclair? Why? But I will try not to dislike him just because he's not Sinclair. That would be stupid. I don't dislike him. Garibaldi is still in the sick bay or whatever, possibly dying. But I'm slightly less worried about that because he's in the new title sequence. And I don't know why they put him in the new title sequence if he's just going to, like, be in a coma and then die. And it's like, well, we thought we'd include his face anyway, even though he's not doing anything. So yeah, new title sequence. Delenn is still in her cocoon of madness. Yes, so an episode, I don't know, there was a plot, who cares? What I care about is, the fact that we got the answer, kind of out of nowhere, to what the hell with the missing chunk of time in Sinclair's head, which, okay, he didn't get the answer, but we did. So Lanier is all like, okay guys, I'm gonna lay it down. So yeah, souls. What? I mean, I was kind of watching and I was thinking, what, are we supposed to believe this? Or is it just kind of like it doesn't matter, because if the Minbari believe it, like whatever. And then Sheridan basically said, I don't believe this, but they do. So I was like, alright, dude's on my side, kind of like. But at the same time, I'm just always like, you go into a fictional universe and you're kind of trying to figure out the rules. And like, let me say, because I can't stop comparing this to DS9. It's kind of not a comparison. I'm just saying that in DS9, there's the prophets. And whether you consider them gods or not, you can't deny that they, A, exist, and B, certainly could have the power of prophecy because they exist in all times at the same time, like simultaneously. But here, it's like, are souls real? Like, are they really real? The Minbari really have souls, and are they really showing up in humans, and how do you tell? And, oh, of course, God, I love the bit where afterwards Lanier is talking to the cocoon and just is like, I will now narrate the rest of this. And I was like, thanks, Lanier. Thanks for talking to yourself and just telling the audience what the Grey Council, or what you, didn't tell Sheridan Ivanova, which is that there's some sort of a doom coming and that the humans in Minbari must come together to fight it. And I bet it's the Shadow People. It's totally going to be the Shadow People. That is my guess. Because I'm kind of obsessed with the Shadow People. I don't know. They're my default guess for everything. So, yes, I think that's pretty much all I want to say. Some of the videos on the last chunk ran kind of long, so I'm going to try to maybe not talk quite as much this time. Or at least not try to talk longer than 5 minutes. Let's not do that again. But yeah, so, new people, craziness, everything's whack. But I think it's going to be okay. I think I can live with it. I do really hope that we get to see Sinclair again, because I'm like, okay, what's his deal? I mean, he's an ambassador now, which is cool, but how is he handling that? I want to know. I care about the guy. And I also want to know, is he going to find out what he was missing? Is he going to find out about the souls? Are they going to tell him? Is he going to find out the other, whatever, like, what's his deal? I want him to be here so we can find out what's going on with him. And also, that's, of course, the bit where he shows up in the spacesuit, and the future him shows up in the spacesuit, so he's, like, doing something there. I'm also just curious as to why he's not in the show anymore. Like, this doesn't seem like the kind of thing a TV show would necessarily plan ahead of time. Like, yeah, we're going to have this main character, and then he's just going to fuck off somewhere, and we're going to get another one. It kind of reads to me like the actor wanted to be somewhere else. But we'll see, I suppose. This is only the beginning. So, yeah, I'm excited for more. Hi. So, episode 2, Revelations. Like only about 5,000 things happened in this episode that are important and interesting, and yeah, okay, it's officially cool. I'm fine with the show having to give me Sheridan instead of Sinclair, because everything else is just as glorious as it ever was. And I like Sheridan. So, okay, Delenn comes out of her cocoon, and now she has turned into the woman with long dark hair and a funny thing around the back of her head, because that is the person I knew was on the show, possibly, or at least on some science fiction show I never watched. I was doubting myself, and now she's here, so I guess she's, like, part human now. Like, I don't know how the fuck that's supposed to work, but whatever. Garibaldi wakes up and is fine now, so I'm happy again. Yeah. Oh my god, though, the guy who tried to kill him, so much drama, because they're like, it's not Earth Force, because he's all like, oh, it's not Earth Force, you crazy person, you don't even know what's going on. But now Garibaldi thinks it might be Psy-Corps, considering the Psy-Corps' connections with now President, who used to be the Vice President before the President got assassinated, and, oh, okay, here's just one of my stupid little predictions or connections that I'm kind of making here. Okay, so Sheridan's wife died in some sort of accident in a ship. But her last message to Sheridan's sister, she mentions that some professor, she's like an archaeologist or something, and this professor that she works with, I guess, thinks he's found some civilization that no one's heard of, like some ancient civilization no one's heard of before. And I'm like, hang on. Could it be connected? I mean, could this be the Shadow People again, and like they just blew up their ship, like, nope, you can't find us, boom. No, it wasn't an accident, you know, just like they did with the Narns in this one. Oh my god, and fucking Londo, like, he is so much fun. But I'm going to this kind of, like, this position of liking Londo more than Jakar, despite the fact that Londo's actions are much worse than Jakar's. Jakar is just kind of like, okay, guys, there's some sort of crazy enemy out there, and I'm kind of trying to prove it. And Londo's just like, hey, shadowy, strange man, you know, here's this information you asked for. And I'm like, no, don't. But they did. They never listened to me. So those are my opinions right now. I'm really excited about this whole The Shadows plot. Okay, so I actually should mention a couple of things I managed to spoil for myself, just because I was on the internet and not even looking for information about Babylon 5. One of them was on TV Tropes, and it was about that apparently Ivanova and Talia are a thing later, which, okay. And also the other thing was really, really vague. But somebody posted a prompt for a story on the Avengers Kink meme, which I totally don't go on ever. But anyway, it got filled, so I look at the completed fills, right, and it got filled, and so I was just going, oh, it's a Babylon 5 crossover, better scroll past that. But, like, it only had, like, one sentence of summary, which was basically just something about the Avengers somehow ending up on Babylon 5 when the shadows start to move, and I was like... So now I'm just, like, thinking, you know, there's, like, the creepy shadow people, but I'm also thinking of the Vashta Narada, like... I'm literally thinking of the dark, shadowy corridors of B5, and, like, the shadows just start moving across the floor for no reason, and you're like, why? So, you know, fun times. Oh, I liked it a lot that Dr. Franklin brought back that machine from last season, that healing machine thing, life force thing, because I was kind of like, hey, what about that thing? Maybe that could fix Garibaldi. You want to try that thing? And then he did. And I was like, yes! It's a show that, like, vaguely remembers its own continuity. I wrote one note, because if there was something I thought was funny. Oh, yeah. The council meeting at the beginning where Londo was complaining about how half the council members aren't there. And he's like, oh, yeah, and Delenn picked a very inconvenient time to start considering new career options, like turning into a butterfly. I was like, I love you. And I like how Lanier's just like, she is in a cocoon. And Londo's just like, yeah. He's like, I don't know, do you not hear yourself? That sounds completely insane. So, yes, this was a good one. This was lots of fun. This was, yeah, I say that all the time. So I'm really excited to see where all the fun times go with everybody. So, yeah. Hey. So, still on Season 2, Episode 3, The Geometry of Shadows. So, I'm sorry, it's been a few days since I last watched an episode. Spring break started, and I don't know, I've been distracted. This one was fun. I keep saying that. I feel like I say that about every episode. It's still continuing. I guess what it's mostly doing is continuing the plot of Londo's kind of deal with the devil, as it were. They don't actually show, like, Mr. How Can I Help You, What Do You Want guy. I wish he had a name. He does have a name. I just don't remember what it is. Doesn't show up in this. But there's this whole thing about these Techno-mages, which is a cool concept, like, except I'm still not entirely sure what the deal is. It seems to me that they use science, like, because they describe them as using science to do magic, or to pretend to do magic or something, and I'm like, what, as opposed to what? Real magic? Because that's not a thing. So, what? But, I don't know, whatever. They can do shit. And this Techno-mage, you know, and Londo is all just like, oh, I want to talk to the Techno-mages and get their blessing for something or other, so that me and these other Centauri can, like, take over after the Emperor dies. I guess they have an Emperor, I don't know. And, anyway, so at the very end, the Techno-mage is finally just like, fine, I'll tell you something about, you know, the Techno-mage. Yeah, and he said, say something about Londo. And he's like, alright, fine. I see you as a hand reaching out. Like, basically, that Londo will be very influential in kind of like where things are going in the future. But it's creepy because he says, I hear all these shouts and things, you know, and Londo goes, oh, is that my followers? And Techno-mage guy goes, no, those are your victims. And it's like, so I think Londo's gonna have, I just kind of think he's gonna have a really interesting story. Like, I'm kind of realizing this more and more, that he's gonna have this interesting story of kind of, I'm worried about it, you know, because the first time that he asked the Shadow Dude for help, he didn't know that he was gonna just, like, fucking kill a bunch of Narns. But now he knows how this guy operates, so if he asks him for help again, whatever happens, he's completely culpable. And it's going to be, like, it's like, because I really like Londo, and I don't want to see him kind of go down this path, but at the same time, it's going to be terribly entertaining. And then there's this other plot about Garibaldi being like, should I go back to being the security chief? I'm like, really? Bro, what else are you going to do? But he does. And then there's also this thing about Ivanova got a promotion, and she's supposed to mediate this thing, and she keeps failing at it. But then she doesn't. Then she figures it out, and it's all cool. So yeah, that's what happened this week. Oh, let's see. I had another note. There's a bit where the Techno-mage says, what I swear to God is a quote from Lord of the Rings, about wizard, or maybe The Hobbit, about not angering wizards. Not bothering wizards because they're subtle and quick to anger. But I'm kind of going into this, oh my god, what if it's completely not, and I'm looking like an idiot. But no, I'm pretty sure it is. Maybe it came from something else first, but that was in fucking Lord of the Rings. And I love Lord of the Rings. So that's what I have to say about that. I flailed. So that's this episode, and I'm looking forward to the next one for sure. And yeah. Bye. Alright, episode 4, A Distant Star. So, sorry, I'm really slow right now, actually watching this. But, finally, another episode. finished. Well, that was good. That was, I don't know, there wasn't really anything going on there that really intrigued me except for the shadow alien things that apparently live in hyperspace. And they're pretty hostile. Plus they're like trying to make this leader of whatever squadron, as he is now, he's like promoted at the end, this fighter pilot guy, like they're trying to make him a character, and I'm still not entirely sure why or who he is. I liked Sheridan's friend, this guy with a beard, comes to visit the station with his giant-ass spaceship and says some stuff, and then they have to go rescue him. But, I don't know, like, there wasn't really anything super interesting going on here right now. It was pretty, whatever. I got some giggles out of, this, apparently Dr. Franklin has decided he needs to impose restricted diets on the command staff, I guess. So he's got them eating particular foods, and so there's this funny scene where Garibaldi, Ivanova, and Sheridan are having lunch together, and they're all like, they're like looking at their food like, I don't want to eat this, and they're like, aha, and then they all just switch plates, but then Franklin comes by and they have to switch them back. But it was funny. So, shouldn't eat chocolate while I'm making a video. Whatever, so I enjoyed it, yada yada. No. I think I might, because I guess you need to know these things, I think I might, just a tiny, tiny bit, ship Sheridan and Dylan. But more in a, wondering if that's a way that it could go. I just think that would be interesting. So, you know, I still miss Sinclair, but I like Sheridan. He's fun. He smiles a lot. Yeah, so whatever. I don't have that much to say about this one. Until next time. Heyo. Episode 5, The Long Dock. So, this week, or whatever, Barclay comes aboard the station, and there's an evil, invisible sparkle monster that eats people's organs. And more references to an ancient darkness, an ancient enemy, bringing back all of its demon buddies. Or whatever. Anyway, so it was more kind of just a weird things are happening on the station, people are dying, mystery kind of plot. Lots of Garibaldi, of which I approve. I don't have that much to say about it though. Again, it's not like it blew my mind or anything. It happened, it was cool, it was there. I don't know. Something's up. Seems to be the general consensus. On board B5. So I guess it's probably going somewhere. So, you know, just keep trucking, see what happens next.